never fixed the matches.
Right.
It's just
Yeah, it didn't affect me. So far that seems to be.
I don't like that anyway, my kids are on it. Yeah. Just because no one else
I just got back.
would have left earlier anyway.
Morning.
Literally, I was backing out and Chloe wasn't coming in.
How was he?
Yeah.
No. No. This is great. It's been a week.
And. Good? Call to order the council meeting for the city of Fulton. Roll call please, Tori.
Mayor Malone,
Here.
Alderperson Boonstra,
Here.
Burgraff, King,
Present.
Mass. Here. Ratcliffe,
Here.
Sewell. Here. Van Campen. Here. Wilkins.
Here.
Join me please in the pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, we do have one presentation.
We do. So I'm pleased to announce that Officer Andrew Bennett has graduated from the Sauk Valley Police Academy and has started his field training. He's already been on for 2 days, already been stopping cars and made his first warrant arrest today.
Oh, congratulations.
So
Wow.
he's already hit the ground running and we're fully staffed again and we're looking forward to the summer and just trying to make things go smooth. So welcome to Andrew.
Welcome, Andrew.
I'm happy you're my neighbor.
Yep.
What's a quick refresher again on how long he's gonna be tagging along with Dwayne, or maybe it's a
So he's
rotation?
actually only gonna be riding for 4 days.
Okay.
Since he's got prior law enforcement experience, he's gonna go straight into a shadow program. This is
Okay.
where he'll be on a power shift and he'll always be working with somebody for the next several months.
Gotcha.
So he won't be solo, but he's already familiar with our computer system, which he used previously. Was a dispatcher on that program even. So he's very well rounded in our computer programs. And he's taken several of our classes through what is our mobile training unit when he was on the Arsenal. So he's already well into the Illinois system. So
Great.
he's ahead of the game. Unfortunately, we had to send him to the academy, but you know, we'll be all right.
Okay.
And if you see a little gray car speeding around town, just let it go. How's it gonna work?
Thank you, Dwayne. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
All right, next, communication from visitors. Miss Kelly Parsons is here. Kelly, floor is yours.
Thank you. Name, address, all that stuff, or just?
Here. You're good, just like you.
All right, so this fall I came and spoke to the city council about the storage containers that we had at the high school. Wanted to give you guys an update as requested that I come back in April and do. One has since been removed and the other one should be removed by the upcoming weekend, weather permitting. So.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
And Chris Martin, he built a new.
Yep, our shop class, second ag teachers class built a shed this spring. And if we need more storage space, they can always build us another one, but right now we are happy with what we have, so.
It was nice seeing that come together too, that project.
Yes, it was, so thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, next is the consent agenda. All items on the consent agenda will be enacted by a single motion and roll call vote. Any item may be removed upon request of the mayor or any alderman and considered individually after all other items of business on the consent agenda. We'll be approving the regular meeting minutes from April 13th, 2026 city council meeting and approve the bill list. Motion, please.
So moved.
Second.
A second.
Discussion.
I have a question on the bill list. Chad, this one's for you. The $30,360 and some change.
Yep.
Is that, for our new, police cruiser?
Yep, it is, and that was paid through for administrative penalties.
And just refresher for for me and the group. What year and model is that?
That is a 2006 Chevrolet Tahoe, or 2026. 2026 Chevrolet Tahoe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyone else?
What's the lab balance?
Where you at?
The fourth one down, clean and calibrate lab balance.
So that is our water and wastewater, instruments, we have to have them certified every year.
So that's down at the waste.
Down at the water plant, well, 4 and 5, and then at the wastewater plant as well.
So we got 3 of them?
That sounds right. Should be 2 at the, or 1 at the wastewater plant, 2 at the water plant.
And this covered all of those, or?
Yep.
Anyone else? Roll call, please, Tori.
Alderperson Boonstra,
Yes.
Bergrat,
Yes.
King,
Yes.
Nass,
Yes.
Ratcliffe,
Yes.
Sewell,
Yes.
Van Campen,
Yes.
Wilken,
Yes.
All right, next we have a motion to approve and vote on the 2026-2027 annual budget for the city of Fulton. Motion, please.
So moved.
Support.
Discussion?
I just want to thank Eric for bearing through all these emails and meetings I requested of him as part of the finance committee as we went through this. As I've stated multiple times in this council, my goal was to get this budget right-sized as much as possible so we can use it as a good foundation as we move forward. And I think we've accomplished 90+% of that, 99% of that, somewhere around there. There's still a few moving parts that we have to lock down, but it's gonna be much, I think, closer and tighter as we move forward, and that'll allow Eric and the department heads to, really manage their budget.
Anyone else? Roll call, please, Tori.
Alderperson Bergrat,
Yes.
King,
Yes.
Nass,
Yes.
Ratcliffe,
Yes.
Sewell,
Yes.
Van Campen,
Yes.
Wilken,
Yes.
Boonstra,
Yes.
All right, next we have motion to approve and vote on the new water sewer rates, 15 to 18. Motion, please.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Discussion on this one?
So I would like to make an amendment to page 17 and the effective date. This is something that's come up in past times. The cycle typically runs from the 20th to the 20th of the following month, and then is billed usually on the 1st or the last day of the month after the 20th. I think that we should have the rates are actually going to become effective May 20th, because that's when the split happens for the actual billing versus 10 days into the cycle.
Say that again.
The cycle for our water sewer bills are always the 20th to the 20th. The actual billing is billed on the 1st, or has the first date on there, but for these new rates to be effective, I think they should be effective on that new cycle of the water sewer usage, which would be May 20th. Makes sense.
Is there any issues with changing the date? I'm fine with that.
I'll amend my motion for that.
All right, amend the, let me get first amended motion to change that to May 2026.
So section 8, is that what you're talking?
Yep.
Yes. Okay,
Yeah, I'm fine with
and a
that.
second?
Section
So moved.
Thank you, Zach. Any other discussion?
Okay, so the refuse collection, it was 18 and now it's 20. On section 4, is that what the difference is from?
It's actually 1905 right now, and then with the raises that Republic is going to be giving us here in July, that's what our new rate will be.
So if someone like, for example, has a dumpster, then we just need to let you know and then that comes off that water bill, or is that just?
Yeah, we don't charge for people that have dumpsters.
You good? Yeah. Roll call please, Tori.
Alderperson King,
Yes.
Mask,
Yes.
Ratcliffe,
Yes.
Sewell,
Yes.
Van Campen. Yes. Wilken,
Yes.
Boonstra,
Yes.
Redgraf.
Yes.
All right, next motion to approve and vote on the purchase request form, page 19. Motion, please. Second?
I'll support it.
Thank you. Discussion on this one? This was in the packet last time for discussion.
So I know that I didn't raise this last time, but I think that we should add something in there as a caveat under the $25,000 and up, so we're not locked into it. There is a rule that if the council votes, I believe it's referred to 3/4. 3/4 of the elected vote, you can bypass the RFP and the competitive bidding process. If there was ever such a situation where we needed to move immediately and we went with a single source for a purchase, I think we should have that option in here, written in here, that we can use the 3/4 vote to bypass the the competitive bidding process or RFP.
How frequently does that happen, Eric?
Since I've been here, I think we've only done it once that I'm aware of. We had a sewer line collapse down on 13th Avenue and we bypassed the competitive bidding process so we could get that project moved along quicker.
I agree with you, Zach, that it's just like you say, a caveat, just in case.
It's guidance, if anything, yeah. I'll amend my motion to include that.
What was it, Zach, that you said?
So on the bottom, purchase approval limits on the $25,000 and above, it says requires city approval and competitive bidding process or RFP. There is legislation that allows city council to bypass the competitive bidding process or RFP if 3/4 of elected officials vote in favor of that, bypassing that. And this would be, as kind of what Eric just mentioned, in cases where we need to move right now. I wanna be able to make sure that we're not saying, well, you know, we just passed this approval form and we're supposed to go through the process. Well, I wanna make sure that we still have that in here. That says we have a 3/4 vote.
That sound good to you, Rebecca?
That's fine.
Alderperson Van
All
Campen.
right,
you
Mindy
wanna
amended the
amend your
motion. Do we have a second?
You wanna
Second.
amend your motion?
Thank you.
I amended it, you wanna support it?
Oh, yeah, support.
Any other discussion? Roll call, please, Tori.
Alderperson Mask,
Yes.
Ratcliffe,
Yes.
Sewell,
Yes.
Van Campen,
Yes.
Wilken,
Yes.
Boonstra,
Yes.
Bergerath,
Yes.
Kane.
Yes.
All right, next for discussion is the banner polls application, page 20. We took the notes from the last meeting and Adam revised this form for us all for review.
On this topic, not just on the banners, but other things that Public Works Department does for us, maybe we should broaden out not just with banners, but other things they do.
Give an example.
Yeah, like with Dutch Days right now. Today, they're helping us get the Santa Claus house out.
What's that have to do with the permit?
Well, just that we're going to have Public Works now charge for something they do for somebody, a non-for-profit. We've said the banners have to be non-for-profit, and we're now going to charge them to do a Public Works service. And I'm saying, let's look at everything they do, not just the banners, and take a look at that. Why are we charging them just for the banners and not for other things that they do, like moving the Santa Claus house for us today?
The other things that they do would have to be brought up at every time. This is about the banners.
I would say because they are not city-owned, those banners are that organization's. Anything else that they're doing right now is a City of Fulton event or everything that they do otherwise is, in essence, for the City of Fulton, like, you know, they're, I don't know. You understand what I'm trying to say?
Yes.
I understand what Jack's saying. I thought about this and I thought, no, I think we should just leave it to banners. If we're gonna start charging the poor public works guys, they're gonna be working for every Tom, Dick, and Harry doing things and not doing their city job. So the banner is like, they have to bring up the lift and it's time consuming. We're moving to Santa's house, doesn't take that long. That's just my opinion.
But what you're saying is something to talk about on another day, put it on an agenda or whatever.
I don't know.
No, that's what Keith was saying. I
That's
thought.
what I'm saying.
Oh,
The topic we're on, the agenda is for the banners.
oh,
a good
just to
point.
discuss.
Discuss this, the rest
Yeah,
should be
anything
discussed
else you
at
wanna-
another time.
But I mean, helping with the, like the benches and stuff that they help, I don't, you know, I think the banners is what my, you know, I agree with, but that's just my opinion.
I think we created this application at the recommendation of the council and then we modified it as last week's discussion. This is- I guess I would say the middle part that's highlighted there, it says all banners must be rented. I think that should say poles. Okay.
They don't have to put up 16 banners.
No, they don't have to. But we're not gonna have two, you're gonna rent them all.
Yeah, you're renting all the space, you just don't have to put up 16 banners, I guess is.
I apologize, I missed the conversation on this, but is there some sort of screening process that the city is going to do on what the banners are? Like, is there,
So any banner before it gets put up would would have to come to the council before it's approved, so that way everybody knows what's going up prior to. So that way if there's concerns about something that might be going up, hopefully it'll be caught ahead of time.
so then if there is no other banner organization, then it will just be something that the city will
Right.
create and do and,
Yeah, it would say, you know, welcome to Fulton or,
right?
you know, something along those lines.
Do we have it also in there that, you know, they're gonna tell us what it is, but there's a picture of it?
I don't know if it specifies a picture, I don't have it.
So it was brought to my attention this last week, somebody had entered in something at a contest and they had to fill out the application, but there was no picture like attached. And with how things are now, things
Sure.
Oh, I think it's a good idea to just, in your application, you have to apply for the permit and.
But I mean, I think a picture needs to accompany,
Yeah,
do you know what I'm
You
saying?
know, the last sentence right there says, I also acknowledge that all banners must be reviewed and approved by the city of Fulton prior to installation.
I would take it reviewed means seen.
Has to be seen.
Everyone's comfortable with this application?
Yep.
All right, thank you. Next for discussion is city council pay rates. So last week I had an Excel sheet for you all, but Rebecca drafted the ordinance for us if we wanted to take a look at this. Discuss any rate changes for next term.
I think, my own opinion is that it comes out the same.
It comes out the same.
Same. But to me, I think it's a lot easier book work if we just leave it the original way than to trying to figure out this way.
Plus, it's gonna be a real fun
Yeah,
between terms.
I would just say, just amend our current one specifically, if you don't attend the meeting, you don't get that pay. Versus the way it's currently worded now.
no, you can't do
You
that.
can't do
You
that.
can't do it midterm.
No, I'm
No,
not saying the
Changes
midterm, the next
not
term.
take place until the next term
Yeah.
that commences for each
There's something,
older
I
person.
don't wanna state law, so you have to pay.
Right, because you're an elected
Cause we
official.
looked at it.
No, I understand, I'm just saying, make it for just change it for the next term, just change it, so you're not here, you don't get paid for whenever the next cycle takes effect.
But you cannot, unless the law's changed, you cannot not pay them, whether they're here or not. Because
This
they're an
council
elected
went
official.
through that when we had another alderman here.
No, I understand, what I'm saying
We
is,
had to pay him, we can't
For-
not pay him.
4 of the council will be up for election in April, and then
Not even when they change.
Exactly.
No, you can't change the
It's a
they.
law, there's
It's a
they
state
pay.
law that you have to pay,
Regardless if you're there or not.
regardless if you're there or not.
Rebecca, did you review
It
that?
doesn't matter.
I'd have to look and see if there's been any
Yeah, I
change.
can verify that
Cause
with my email.
we went through that with another alderman a few years back.
Yeah, Tammy had to go through it all, yep,
Yeah.
because they're an elected official.
so the verbiage on page 22 isn't even legal? Is that what you're stating?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, I think it would be confusing. I think it'd be a lot more book work for our alley. You know, if somebody wasn't here, okay, so city hall, $50 per month, plus the $50 per meeting, but then, you know, and then they're adding that and then writing out that. We're better off just to leave it at $75 and be done.
No, but specifically on page 22, it says plus $50 per meeting attended, and what you're stating is that it doesn't matter if you attend that meeting.
No,
Yeah, and that's the way it was when we looked into it for the other alderman.
Okay.
Yeah.
Saying if
Unless
that,
they changed the law.
if that's accurate, then that verbiage would not be representative.
right.
And I mean, if we're paying the same, I don't know why we're even messing with, we just changed this 3 years ago.
I understand the
They're
motivation.
giving $50 extra a month, it's what it is, it's $50 a month, then $50 for each meeting. Is that the way it's gonna go? Yeah,
But it says in the way the ordinance is written, each meeting attended.
Attended, and then.
Right.
Yeah,
Whereas
right.
the current ordinance says per meeting, not just
okay.
scheduled
I see
or
what you're
whatever.
saying, yes.
So you're not gonna be any further off ahead if you have to pay them
No,
with not
right,
attending.
yeah.
It'll be the same exact thing.
Yeah, right, and I just think, you know, paying an older person $50 a month plus $50 per meeting, which I understand, it's still
It's the exact same thing as we're getting paid now, $75.
Right, yeah, why are we changing it? Yeah, I think just leave it as it is.
I get what you're saying. It took me a second.
I agree,
Yeah, it's just.
I say we just leave it
Instead
like it
of-
is.
The $600 annually, and then $50, no.
I proposed this change to, I'll say, make you come to the meeting. There is nothing from stopping anyone from getting elected and then never coming here and collecting a paycheck from the city, other than your own ethical
Yeah, I don't know
values.
that. I mean, Sue and Keith have had an incident past. I'm not familiar with that. That's why I think Rebecca, it would be helpful for all of us to know that if that's legally binding.
I'm saying like, nothing can force me to make you come here and then you can get paid.
I don't know, I'm 14 years I've never ran across it, so.
Did you say that he could remove someone though if that was?
There are ways.
I know, we
There are
can't
ways.
remove anybody because they're an elected official.
Right,
There are ways to recall.
remove, but it has to be for malfeasance.
right.
They would
Have to
have
murder
to
your
commit
spouse.
felony of some kind or.
Yeah, because otherwise,
I mean, you have to have a criminal.
I mean, I talked to Ally, like, we had someone resign and then not show up for how many months, and they got paid.
if they
If they
resigned,
resign, they shouldn't be getting
They
paid.
shouldn't.
they should get paid.
If
But
I'll say this as an
they're-
example, whatever today is, right? I'm gonna submit my resignation for September 30th, and then I'm done coming here. I'm still the mayor until September 30th, so I'll still get paid until September 30th.
That is accurate.
So this meeting attended, if you don't come, you're not getting paid.
Okay, well then you could put that in, but I don't think changing, just leave it, what our ordinance here, instead of meeting.
But you just said that it's
Yeah,
illegal
just
to not
change.
pay
I
someone.
think we need to check
But we gotta
into it.
check in to make sure that, because you're an elected official.
Eric, what did you say that Morrison does, or somebody brought this up before, Morrison has like a fine, you won't get arrested or something like
I believe
that?
it is Morrison, they do impose a fine, so essentially, and whether or not they actually impose it, I don't know, it's just in their ordinances. I believe it states something, and I think, I'm just guessing on their pay, say their pay is $75, I think the fine for missing the meeting is $75.
If we could implement that, then that would
Well, there you go.
negate
There you go,
out
there you go.
each side.
I mean, I could do a little more research on that just to verify if they're actually following through with it, or if it's just something they have on the books from the
Just
past.
to see what it is, how it's worded
Right.
in their city ordinance would give us a basis.
But like I
But are we
said,
gonna allow excused absence?
Rebecca found something.
Section 3.1-50-15 of the Illinois Municipal Act provides compensation to members of corporate authorities. A, the ordinance fixing compensation for members of the corporate authority shall specify whether those members are to be compensated, 1, at an annual rate, or 2, for each meeting of the corporate authorities actually attended if public notice of the meeting was given.
Oh,
So
changed it.
I would read that as you can require attendance for the alderperson to be paid for that meeting.
Then I would go back to what I stated originally, which
how
is
about Robert's
just
rules, I
amending-
think.
just amending the ordinance to per meeting attended for what we currently have as a pay schedule.
okay.
It's the same amount of money.
But now, is there gonna be excused absence?
I mean, if you have an excused absence and you're not here, do you want to be paid for it?
I think
If I
we
plan a
need- I think we
vacation
need
to
check into
Europe,
it first.
and I know I'm not going to be here, I mean, I'm not asking permission to go to Europe when they're, in one of my meetings, but I don't care if I get paid the $75 or not for not being here. That's me personally, can't speak for everybody, but
Well, that $75 isn't just for the meeting either.
Yeah.
How many phone calls do you take
a lot.
throughout the month? Emails? Those don't stop
How many
just because
people walk up to you while you're
attend the
eating
meeting.
dinner?
And I think that's why they said they're an elected official, you work all month,
Yeah,
actually.
it's not just the meetings that you
Yeah.
attend.
Shane, look at all the calls you get.
I can only imagine.
I'm underpaid,
There.
but I'm not complaining.
Well, no, and I think you have to be careful too, you don't wanna discourage people
From
from
running.
taking a seat
hard
because it's
to get
already
in.
a very thankless job that some people are lining up for,
It's not
so.
worth their
I
time,
think
It's hard.
Morrison does pay more already, right?
huh?
Morrison already pays.
Morrison does.
And I mentioned last month,
I would lean towards, let's find a way to, I don't know, I don't wanna say penalize, but I would really hate to see someone get elected and never come to a meeting and get paid.
I don't think we've ever had that.
But it can happen, I'm just saying, the opportunity is there.
So. Well, let's look into it more.
Look at, did Tammy keep records here of everything she had?
Like meetings attended?
Yeah. Because she's the one that looked into it with the, prior to a council
Yeah.
person that wasn't
I
here
would
for
have
about
to-
4 months,
I would
5
have to
months.
dive into all her records and see
Yeah.
what's in there.
Cause she had said, nope, I cannot legally do it, I have to pay him. And he had a legit reason, I'm not saying nothing about that, but because of the state law, but maybe things have changed too, though,
Yeah, no,
The last amendment to that was in 2017.
no, it was.
To our city code,
And then-
right?
No, to the
No,
state
okay.
statute was in 2017,
My bad.
to that section.
So,
Well, maybe she misread
Might have
it
been.
too, or
Could have been right around.
Different attorney.
misinterpreted it.
I'll look into it some more and see what we can come up with and
I'll look in.
let's just table it and have more,
bring more
got,
information back to the next meeting and
And I think
motion
there's
to
something
table
in
it?
Robert's rules about
No,
it.
we're not.
I think it's
that's
just
just how
discussion.
meetings are
Okay.
run, that doesn't have anything to do with pay.
We'll just bring it back next time.
I'll double check, I have a new book, so I'll look at it.
Okay.
All right, next for discussion is our enterprise zone.
yeah.
On page 24, you have kind of like a fact sheet with some benefits here. I attended the last E-zone meeting in Morrison, and they have asked all the towns in Whiteside County to look at their map, which Eric has pulled up here. And anything highlighted there in yellow is currently in the zone. They're looking for real estate, so the county can only have so many miles. It must connect, which is kind of why you see ours there. They're concerned for Fulton. If you want to zoom into 14th Avenue, Eric. So,
Those storms aren't coming.
what's that?
Storms.
Oh.
gonna go home and have.
So you can see that stretch there on 14th Avenue heading towards our downtown.
I'm just looking at.
The only reason 14th Avenue is in the zone is to connect the downtown. There's no benefit to have residential in a E-zone. So it's for commercial businesses and whatnot, and they also pointed out like, why is your school's football field in the zone? Like, they're non-taxing bodies, so I'm like, cause it connects. So they have asked us to look at this to see if we can give any miles back, or do we need any miles? And then sitting down with the economic development team, with Eric was there as well, we were thinking of connecting through the marina and then basically giving back 14th Avenue. So,
Since it's residential.
yeah, and then
So just include the
What is,
baseball
what,
field.
what is that gap right there on the map?
that,
That's the marina.
it like ends the
Oh,
marina
okay.
and goes kind of like through the ball fields right there where the dogs and suds are.
Okay,
Yeah,
So we could give them back basically 14th Avenue and then take the marina portion. That, that's my recommendation to them.
What's the benefit of the miles?
Just,
It also helps other communities that have the E-zone, like I know Milledgeville's looking to add to theirs to
yeah,
potentially draw some business to their town. But with us redrawing it and adding in the marina, that opens us up to, if somebody were to take over the marina or the boat shop, or the old boat shop, the dog grooming facility now, any building materials that they would need to revamp it, if they want to add on things of those nature, they can get it all sales tax free, and, you know, it saves them a little money in the long run.
Seems like a no-brainer.
Yeah, I think it makes a lot of
I agree.
sense.
We all agree too.
Can we
I think there was some
look at our
more.
taxes down the line?
That was the biggest one.
Yeah, that was the biggest one.
And then you had down here,
Sales tax.
by 24th Avenue, but,
Yeah.
I mean, you could add it, but I mean, it'd just be connecting two properties is all, but we're already connected down on 31st.
Yeah.
So there's real no benefit to add this section right here.
And that, like west of Fourth Street is outside the city limits, so I would let the county just deal with that.
Yeah, as you can see right here where my cursor is, this is our corporate boundary. So this would be the old Bungie. And that is actually within Whiteside County, not the city of Fulton.
Can we annex that?
I didn't know.
I thought it was ours too.
Yeah.
Can you scroll down to
There
the,
you go. I can't.
So this line right here
Yeah.
is our corporate boundary, which is essentially the drainage tube that runs through there. And then everything along the west side of Fourth Street, so Agarbungie, the Union Pacific Railway, JT Cullen's loadout, which would be down here, that is all within Whiteside County. That is all outside of city limits.
So that has nothing to do with us basically
Correct.
for the miles. Okay.
Keep heading south there. There's a little
yeah,
jut out to on the other side of Clinton Road there.
yeah.
So that's our boundary there on the south side of.
Yep.
But I think I would encourage them to let the county keep that in case because we've seen that was for sale before and then it kind of went away, but if we ever had the opportunity to get that, it would be nice if it was already zoned.
So they're not gonna build over there now?
I don't know what they're doing, I'm just saying I don't wanna remove it from the zone in case an opportunity comes where it's for sale and the city can buy it. I don't think there was anything to the east.
There's stuff to the east, but pretty much everything to the east is outside of city
Yeah.
limits. But it has a 61252 area code, so they included it on our map.
Is that little oak there? Okay.
Yep,
Yes.
right here.
Well, I can't see so far away.
Yeah, so everyone's okay with basically giving back 14th Avenue and adding that?
Yeah, I think so.
That
Okay.
makes sense.
I'll tell them that now.
Thanks for checking into that, Shannon.
Yeah, that was good.
No problem. That's the extra pay.
I'll give you a pat on the back.
Next, we have committee reports, Finance Committee meeting minutes on page 25.
A lot of money coming in and out.
Yeah. So I do want to make some points, and then just on page 27, one of the things that we know was going to happen is the city financing the concrete reconstruction of Fourth Street. And Eric, I believe, is hopefully going to have some terms for us on the first May meeting. Is that still a goal?
Yes.
Okay. I won't go into too much detail there because we can talk about it as a group. But looking for obviously multiple rates, multiple options to present to the council to pay for that portion, as opposed to taking that all out of reserves, which the Finance Committee does not recommend doing at this time. There's some other things in here that I know that we'll talk about in closed session. Obviously, we just voted for the water sewer rate. And if there's any other questions anybody has, please ask.
I did not, but thank you for those minutes. Next, we have the Economic Development Committee meeting minutes on page 28. Highlighted we just discussed the enterprise zone there, and now we've talked about it here, so I appreciate that action item there.
I have a question for the economic development, the notes. It's not specifically in here, but the list of, we'll say, available commercial buildings, do we as a city or economic development committee keep an active list of that, or do we just leave that to the individual realtors that are dealing with the listings?
Wait,
Well,
what?
some of them don't want it out, that
Yeah.
they're doing things, so that's why we don't either.
Okay.
We didn't put it in. We didn't wanna cross the line with some
A
people.
lot of discussion with downtown businesses,
Yeah.
and then we just don't put that in there because things aren't solidified, even though we held our talk
Sure.
chat.
So, I think today I even saw the official Country Orchids post on Facebook through the realtor, making it known to the social media universe that, that business and building is available. But I also think about on 3rd Street, there's some commercial buildings there that, have, I think, been empty for quite some time now, as well as the fire protection building. And I think I'm saying that wrong. I don't know the title of the building, but that's also, available, and there's some good space down there. And hoping that as we recreate 4th Street, that as the traffic flow pattern changes, they'll get more, more opportunity for people to see those available commercial spaces and potentially.
I'm not sure which ones on 3rd Street are you talking about?
Like the meat market, like the,
At Wendell's, the old service site.
Yeah, that's the one I was thinking of. That big a building is now available.
Right across from.
Yeah.
The construction building,
That is,
No,
it's
that's
not available.
It's not for sale.
I just I've never seen anybody
I think
in
so
there
is
for us.
But it's
not-
not.
well, and more than anything, there's vacant lots. The vacant lots, I don't know if they're
Window
available
owns
to
all
sell or anything, but what?
Window, I think, owns
He owns all
all,
those.
yeah, and he wants to sell it all together, not separate.
To answer the question though, I think the realtors handled it, but
Okay.
I know realtors have called Eric. They emailed me and asked Eric and I about properties, and
Does the downtown development group still keep a
Yes.
running
Okay.
tally of things?
So I can refer anybody that comes to me and says, hey, Zach, is this building for sale or not? I don't know, but I could refer them to,
Between Eric and Larry Russell, they pretty much know of it.
okay.
But we can provide you a list.
I was curious if if a city holds that, or if it's more of on a private.
And I would, a couple of times I've got the
Realtor
list from
enterprise.
Kathy just for us to
So-
take a
I would
look
say
at
more
what's on
private.
there.
Okay, that's fine. I was curious to it.
I mean,
It's
I
not a
have-
question that was posed to me.
I have a couple things that are listed, but you don't see it locally,
Okay,
but
You
you
have to
see it.
search for it.
Yeah, you can see it, and they want it kept that way.
oh, that's fine. I was curious.
Barb, do you wanna finish it? I have to leave.
Yeah. Well, we just talked, that we had quite a lengthy conversation about downtown, but we didn't put that in there because nothing was definitive or just things that were kind of moving targets. Then we also talked a little bit about our community-wide quincentennial celebration. We're looking at July 16th. We're asking you for a $10,000 budget for not just that event, but primarily for that event. We hope we wouldn't spend that much money, but we're asking for that so that we have some leeway to go ahead and make some plans. We'd like to have a community-wide picnic. We'd like to have some kind of entertainment involving the river. So that would either be drone show or fireworks or something to that effect. We'd like to have a movie in the conference room at the Fidelity Drives building. So we have several things, moving parts, but we have to know that we can have some money to spend before we can solidify that. So we're asking for a $10,000 budget. We certainly are willing to go out and get some sponsors too, but we're just asking for that much money so we can make some plans.
Just from my experience with the Fulton Fun Crew and planning events, I think that is way too much. I think 5,000 would be sufficient for, but it depends what you want to do though. I mean, if you're talking fireworks, okay. If you're
Yeah.
talking, I mean, I guess,
I think we lean more toward the drone show because there's never been one in Fulton and that makes it significant.
is that something you like hire?
Yes.
Or, okay,
And we've talked to people in Clinton who've used a firm, so we're confident that that one's
what does that cost approximately?
probably about 8,000.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
well,
So that would be the
8,000 for a
biggest.
drone?
Yeah, yeah.
For
It's a
mobile.
drone show,
Drones.
it's a whole,
Aerial display.
yeah.
Oh, that's actually sounds
I
really
was
kind of
trying to
cool.
look for that word that goes up in the sky like fireworks, but it's
So my
it's
question,
unique. And so in looking at something that's, we're celebrating this 250 years old, you want something that young people are gonna remember, you know, harking back to this. Lisa's shaking her head, because we still talk about what happened 50 years ago with bicentennial stuff. And, yeah, so we're looking for something that has a pop to it.
so the food and drinks, would you ask just the meat market to do?
We've already talked to them, yeah, we have a bid from them on what they
Okay.
would do.
I kind of would encourage you to maybe have the food cost. The city doesn't need to pay for the whole evening. If we're gonna pay for an $8,000 drone show, I would not hesitate at all to go down and buy my family dinner and then have a show to watch it.
Well, we can do that, but we just need a number that we're asking you, we're throwing it out, we're being generous with ourselves and asking, hoping we don't have to spend that much money. But we really can't make solid plans without having some idea of how supportive you are. We're getting wonderful support in the community. I mean, we have lots of things going on, the cemetery, township is very involved. They're gonna be hosting 3 events, one in June, one in May, one in June, and one in July. So I'm just looking for what we want to do as a community to celebrate the significant event.
Do you have a committee helping you do this, or is it just you and Sue right now?
Well, just you and I have heard, she and I, well, the Economic Development Committee is working on that.
So you two, yeah. Do you think it needs to have a committee, or are you guys okay to plan the whole thing?
Well, we've just been inquiring, and so we're here now to see
Yeah.
if you're gonna support or not support, then we're not gonna put any of it, but we think
Sorry to
it's,
write somebody a blank check.
They just need the money.
You
I'm just
know,
asking.
having some quotes back would have been beneficial, you know, just to say, hey,
and we
here's
can,
$10,000,
do
use it,
that, we can
don't
do
use
that,
it.
we've got the quote back from the meat market, and we've got, you know, quotes, so we can do that.
The biggest expense, it sounds like it's gonna be the drone show, you know, that's a month and a half, 2 months out, you know, are they gonna be able to be here for that? You know,
Well, we've got our name on their list
so did they
for
give
July
you,
16th.
did they give you a price for July 16th?
That was gonna be about the $8,000 one.
Well, it'd be nice to have something in writing to tell you that it's gonna be a 10-minute show, a 15-minute show.
13 minutes.
You know, if you could bring that, yeah, I definitely support it somehow,
Yep.
but any support.
That's
from
why we're
anybody
here,
else
we're
would be
just
great,
asking
too.
what it is you want and need, and we'll get back to you.
So can you bring like an expense sheet
Sure.
for the next council meeting of food, show? The band is already gonna be there, right?
Band is, and the band is playing patriotic.
And that's why the date was changed to the 16th, because there's already
The
music.
band was already coming to Fulton that weekend.
If you could have it. It could be in the
What-
packet before the meeting, so everyone could see it beforehand, that'd be nice.
oh, put it in with the,
Like for the next meeting or whatever.
yeah,
Yeah.
put it in, Tori set it out or whatever, okay.
Sure. We just needed a feel of, yes, you wanna do this, or no, you don't.
I like the idea, I would like just to see more, but
Yeah.
yeah, I like the idea of it, I think it sounds good.
I see it says next meeting, May 14th. Is that your official notice to Tori?
Yes.
Anyone else?
We'll get back to you.
Next, page 29 is the Historical Society report for the Walton House Museum.
Yes.
I don't see any expenses for April.
Eric came to visit us when he became Public Works Director, I think maybe. And when he came, he said, "We really need to fix your driveway." And then Logan came as a new Public Works person, and he said, "We really need to do something about the driveway," and we agree with that, so we just need to kind of put an action plan together. It's dangerous to walk on it, and it's really the only way into the house, so we'd like to see some.
Yep, I'll get with Logan when he comes back and we'll measure everything and get a cost estimate together.
And I think the reason now is because on our tour of homes, the Fulton Museum is going to be on that. So we're gonna have lots of people walking on that driveway. That will be well, that's just a couple weeks away. So that would be great. Otherwise, everything's going well there.
All right, any Alderman comments? I have one, but someone can go first.
I just was gonna make a plug for the tour homes at the Fulton Historical Society is May
Go ahead.
15th, 16th. We have 5 homes that are gonna be open to the public. 4 hours on Friday night and 4 hours on Saturday, so that's if somebody can't do all 5 at once, they can come and do 2 on Friday night and do the 2 more or 3. So the Martin House Museum will be open primarily because it's city-owned and we like to always share it. Anytime there's a public function, we're always there. So we'll do that. And then we're gonna have the refreshments down in the Fidelity Drives building in the conference room. And the refreshments are gonna be served for at least an hour after the tour homes close. So the people don't feel like they have to rush, oh, I don't wanna miss the refreshments. So we'll be open after all the homes close, and they'll be open 4 hours on Friday night, 4 hours on Saturday. And if you're interested at all, you're in for a real treat, because we have a nice variety of homes. The Point is probably the most interesting one. When we've asked people, will you volunteer? The number one choice is to volunteer at the Point, because nobody can ever see it unless you're admitted into the property, so.
Barb, how do you sign up to go on the tour?
I've got tickets.
So we just contact you?
Yep.
How much are the tickets?
$15 a piece. And I've got them in my car. I usually have them in my purse, but
I haven't seen anything about this anywhere. How are you marketing this event?
well, we have been at, have the Martin House Museum open, so I don't know, I think we're getting pretty, nobody else seen it? Nobody?
I haven't seen anything.
Okay. Well, we'll have to get busy on that, so we'll get it out. And we'll have a stand in the Arts and Crafts Department Saturday for Dutch Days. There'll be a booth there. But I deliver tickets, so anybody who wants, tell me how many you want, I'll deliver them right to your door or your hand.
Sounds good.
I have one more
Yes, sir.
question. MSA, were they coming again to Dutch Days to wrap anything up as far
I
as
need to-
public input?
I need to verify with them about that, but Shannon that was kind of heading everything has moved on to a different job. So there's a little lapse right now, so
Who is?
Shannon that was spearheading everything for us. But the other individual, Emily, that had been with her at all the meetings, she is kind of taking over. So I just need to touch base with her to make sure that they're still planning on coming this week.
And I told you can use our conference room. Lots going on down there. Can I have one more? Lots going on down there. The community room is being worked on and the elevator is installed. And so that's been a real interesting thing to watch that happen in the building where they dig the hole and tear off the roof so it can go up and down. Yeah, creates quite a hole in your building when you have an elevator shaft. So exciting things going on there.
Well, I wasn't sure if Kayla was gonna be here tonight, but if you did or did not know, Kayla will be resigning from her position. Her last day is 1 May.
Correct.
So I just wanna thank Kayla, even though she's not here, for the time that she's put in to Fulton in her job. I don't have an Instagram account, so I don't have those numbers. But she was hired about 6 months ago and she took over the Visit Fulton Facebook page I remember talking with her to set a goal to have over 5,000 followers, which she achieved. There have been over 100,000 views of her videos in those 6 months. And she averages about 46 posts per month. And one of her more popular topics is Throwback Thursday, where she kind of revisits the community and what happened decades ago and such. And like one of those posts had 140 comments alone. So you can just see I've seen the impact of her, what she's done for our community, and
she's brought us into the 21st century.
just
That's been wonderful.
3 quotes that I came across like researching all this stuff is like, I finally know what's going on in Fulton. That was nice to hear. And whoever's running this social media page is top notch. These posts are always a 10. And someone love these weekly updates, Kayla. So much happening in town, but now we know about it. So I just want to give a shout out to Kayla for the job that she's done since coming on board. I'm sure she'll be missed. And Tori and I will be filling in, but those are big shoes to fill, so don't expect the same results. But you can expect to see something. So thank you, Kayla.
Well, I'd like to piggyback off of that. Actually, in regards to the position, I personally know of a couple people that might be interested on a full-time basis. And that was the number one thing that Kayla, I think, said in her email to us was, there's so many things expected of her, and to get all the work done, this can easily be and should be a full-time position.
I agree.
And the gal that would possibly be interested has done some research. I said, what would it take for you to leave your full-time job, pay-wise and this and that? And she researched the job in other, communities, the duties, and 50 to 60,000. So, just throwing that out there. I don't know if everybody read their email, but this will be my last meeting here with you guys tonight.
I just hear things about, I don't know anything, so this is the first time I'm hearing anything official, either about Kayla or you, so I'm curious, because a lot of people are chatting, so tell us.
So we are moving our family to Davenport. My husband works in Aledo, and he's been commuting there for the last almost 3 years, which is an hour and a half one way, and that's 3 hours of time away from us. So we made the decision to head that way, so his drive will get cut in half, and we'll be moving the kids to school down there. And
What school are you going to?
she will go to Davenport Assumption, and we're not quite sure on the younger two yet. We're still doing some school tours for them, so.
Can you pick, in Iowa, you can pick your school,
You
right?
can, but we'll probably end up at the public schools in that neighborhood. We toured some private schools last week, and they just didn't feel like a fit, so we're kind of gonna go the public school route for them, I think. But, yeah, I'm still gonna drive to Fulton 2 days a week so that I can still keep, Rooted going with Kayla. And the hope and goal is that I can have another Rooted down there that I can run, and Kayla can solely run this one and I can run that one. So the hope is growth, but we'll see. I said there's too much change going on in my personal life. I am not touching the business. That is all going to stay and remain until we get situated and settled, and then hopefully new things can come for Rooted down the road. But that's our big news. So yeah, it's happened incredibly fast. We literally started looking at houses less than a month ago, and we bought one last week. So we told our kids 2 weeks ago that we were considering moving, and then we bought a house the next week. So it's not like this is something that we've known about for months, that I've held from you. It's literally just whoa. And then we had to get our house on the market, which it got on the market Friday. So there's just been a ton of stuff happening, and I don't even think I've processed it yet. But
I would just like to say on my behalf that we thank you for your time on the council. It's been a joy to work with you. Hopefully, you know, you don't forget us about here in Fulton, so, but thank you for your time that you have given to the town of Fulton.
Absolutely, for everything, not just the council, Fulton Fund
H2.
through everything.
Thank you.
The parks, thank you.
Oktoberfest.
I'll still be around, I think, but in a less capacity. I still wanna see Fulton do well because, you know, it's a special place and, yeah.
Thank you.
But thank you everyone for
you.
working and with me and
We wish
everything.
you and your
so,
family well.
Thank you. But yes, I just wanted to throw that out there for the position because I won't have a voice anymore.
So would you resign tonight?
I'll probably get you a written letter tomorrow or some
Okay.
point this week
Okay,
with a specific date.
okay. That we can still get paid for the rest of the year.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's right. Actually, April 25th, 2027 would be the end of my term. No.
Oh, there you go.
No, but do you have to live in, you have to live,
You have to live in your ward.
Yes.
right, so I mean, we're gonna move this summer, so I.
Start pressuring your neighbors.
Yeah, you'll be, yeah, if you move, you'll be forced to resign.
Yeah.
You have to live in the ward. Anyone else?
Gotta bring your replacement.
You know, I did find a few of my replacements in the Fulton Fun Crew, so I'll pick out a few people and see if they wanna fill my seat.
All right, then, next I will entertain a motion in a second to go into closed session, to discuss personnel, litigation, or property. Motion, please.
Motion.
Second.
Support.
Roll call, please, Tori.
Alderperson King,
Yes.
Mask,
Yes.
Ratcliffe,
Yes.
Sewell,
Yes.
Van Campen, Wilkin,
Yes?
Ister,
Thank you for coming.
Berger.
All right, at this time, we'll recess into closed session
I just noticed.
and kindly ask the public to leave the meeting.
Got time to use the restroom real quick?
Sir?
Use the restroom?
Yes, sir.
No.
Yeah. That's very true.
We also blessed the got paid. Yeah, put him on a leash. She can't do it yet with her knee.
Why not? Sue had to leave.
Luckily, she had a knee.
She told earlier that she had to leave, that
When y'all tell me anything.
And I didn't know
I'm
what
just
it
like,
was.
Okay, I don't
She
ask.
texted me.
It's your own business.
she said she had to be someplace. She told me if
So,
the minutes weren't.
Gotcha. You gotta finish.
I brought the car. I was gonna bring the truck, but there were